Hello everyone, it's me, JoRaSe, and today I figured I'd get some cards boxed up for myself and a friend. I, as you know, have been opening up a lot of My Little Pony card game cards, enough that I've got 2 sets that we can play with. So my friend is going to get the Rarity deck and the Applejack deck. And once I get these put in the deck box, I've got to have some way to identify them, don't I? Otherwise they all look the same from the back, and the front it'll take a while to figure out which ones we're looking at. And same with my 2 decks as well. So what I came up with is what you're going to be seeing in this very video. And I'll give you a little sneak peek. That's what I made. 1 for each of the main 6. See you all on the other side. So the first thing we need to do is model our pony leg. And I have got a sketch here, and we're just going to pull in our circle, get it scaled in right, and then just start extruding it out. Switch to wireframe to make it easier to see through and adjust. And we're just going to carry this process over several times. We are going to add in 1 loop cut right there and scale it up just a little bit. All right, got to be careful coming around these tight corners, but they're not that hard if you know how to do it. It is useful to put another loop cut right in there, like that. And now, to continue the process of extruding it and sliding it over. And rotate it and scale it a little bit, I believe. Yes. And rinse and repeat till we have ourselves past the point of that tight curve. Got another curve here, but it's not as tight, so it's not as hard to manage, thankfully. Still have to be careful though. And we're pretty much done with the curve that we need to be worried about. Now it's just scaling it down, getting it all the way to the base of the leg. In other words, the hoof portion. Almost there. Got to make sure it's all scaled properly on this axis. And last one here. And then I think we're going to go ahead and go back up to the top after we make sure it's looking right this way. Yep, here we go. Need a new one for this because I realized the other one would not work quite so well. So what we're going to do is get this flattened out and then position it properly and rotate it after we scale it, of course. So there we go, get it scaled up, and now extrude it one more time. That's right. I know I was forgetting something. Rotate it just that little bit, and now it's kind of mush it all in on the x-axis. Makes it a little bit better. All right, now for the fun bit of trying to get this part done. because I don't want it to look too odd, and we're starting to get into odd territory right now. Let's see if we can't avoid going any further in that direction. Would really prefer it. I mean, it looks okay, but we can do better. Thinking that that's okay, but I'm also thinking it's not. So let's see, let's work on the rest of it right quick here. Down here needs to get a little bit bigger. And now up here, yeah. What do we need to do here? Need to figure out what we're doing, number one. Yeah, this might help. If I have a point, a line by which to work, delete this, and now subdivide this up. Grab and subdivide some more. Pull them into position. Do the same thing over here. And now we've got something to connect to. Just need to get things rotated and positioned properly. And let's see, maybe scale things in a little bit to make it easier. I think we may have something that'll work now, though this probably needs to come over just a little bit. All right. So with that, oh, no, yeah. The previous attempt was not going to work. So again, we're going to try it again using the method of doing it freehand. That seems to be working a little bit better. Let's see. No. We're going to figure this out. We're going to make it work. It's just going to take some time here. Got to get a set that looks right. Maybe this. I don't know. I can see that at the back. And I can see that. That looks okay. Maybe. Yeah, that looks okay. No. First things first, let's pull it out enough and maybe continue it on about to there. And now just finish it out all the way around. And let's pull the entire thing out about to here. All right, there we go. I think that's looking good. Just get it moved in a little bit. Yeah, that's looking real good. I do believe this will work. Just gotta finagle with the vertices a little bit. But we'll get there. Because I want it to look smooth. And we're getting there. All right, just finish this out. And we should be good to go. Indeed. And now just merge those. There we go. All right, got to finish off the bottom here. There we go. Now I want to add a subsurf because that will make it smoother when we 3D print it. And do we need to add in any? Yes, we do. Flatten that out. And how about the bottom? Do I need to do anything on the bottom as well? Yes. There we go. That should do it. One thing we have to keep in mind, though, is that we need to get things stretched right, because when you add subsurf, it will tend to make it a little bit smaller due to the smoothing effect. But I think that looks okay. Now, I think we're just about ready. Just about ready here. Maybe a little more scaling on some of these rings. Want it to look right. And I think we're good. Just apply that modifier and let's make sure we have it turned on its side, so when we send it to the 3D printer, software it'll be one step ahead there. And we want to make sure that is actually flat. So we've got to go in with it rotated this way and get this corrected, because you can see what happened. So what we need to do is flatten those out and then rotate this one just a little bit to get it straight with the other one. Adjust it like so. And I think now we are good to go. All right, we'll be ready to save it and get it into the 3D printer. And here we have the speed run of the leg being printed up, going along nicely. while this is just one being printed up, I did go back and print up multiple, as is obvious from the thumbnail pic. But yes, this real life, this was about probably close to an hour, I want to say, just to get it printed. And yeah, you're seeing it in about, what, 2 to 3 minutes, thereabouts. I will spare you from having to see this multiple times. Although I could make that happen, I figure you'd all appreciate not having to see it again. So we'll just get this one printed up here and go on from there. Look at that hot end fly. And the plastic builds up higher and higher. About halfway there. Oh, no, not halfway. Pretty much all the way. What was I thinking? Yep. Just a touch more here and there. And this is done. Okay, now we have our 3D printed piece. Time to get to work on cleaning it up. Get our file and our little X-Acto knife, hobby knife thing, chisel blade, and I have to find my gloves to be safe when we get to that point. This is what I get for thinking I have everything where I think I have it. And in reality, I don't, so I have to go searching for it. And that is why it has taken me as long as it has to get back. There we go, there are the gloves. And am I going to be ready to start working with the gloves? No, I'm not, because we need to pull this off first. And that's easier done if I'm just doing it by hand. And that can go into the trash. And now we actually need to get working on removing the other bits there. Again, I'm wanting to jump to the gloves and the blade, but we can get a lot of this off just using these needle nose pliers. Makes it a lot easier to finish cleaning it off later. So we will continue this process for a fair amount of time. At some point I should get a better hold on it where I can pull more off at once. Right now we're just getting little bits off, which is fine, they need to come off, but I would like a bigger piece here. It makes it easier to work with. But looks like we're not going to be getting it. Oh well. That was a bigger piece. Be nice if we could get more of that size. Looks like we may be getting somewhere. And now I'm going to have to turn it around here at some point because my space for holding is getting less and less. And yes, I realize I'm going out of frame here. Apologies for that. All right, there we go. Now to turn it around and get working again. And getting more of this off. Come on. Come on. There we go. Got some more off. Eating out with the needle nose pliers underneath that still nearly solid piece of plastic on the bottom there is probably going to help make it where we can actually remove a fair amount at once. At least that's what I'm hoping. We are going to find out. All right. We're almost got all the big stuff removed. Just a little bit more here. It's looking pretty good. Okay, I think it's time we switched over to the blade. And that means it's time for gloves, at least on one hand. And to me, when I was actually doing it, I thought I was originally in frame until I looked up and saw that I wasn't. So then I corrected that. And that's where we are now. Just got to remove the rest of the big stuff with the blade here. And yes, I know I'm cutting towards my hand, but that's okay, because my hand is in a glove. A nice leather glove. So I am protected. Though I will say it took me a while to get used to being able to do this. Even with the leather glove on, it's kind of nerve-wracking knowing that you're sending a sharpened near razor blade towards your fingers. But in time, one gets over that. All right. Looks like it's feeling okay. Just need to keep working here. I'm feeling every now and then to see how smooth it's feeling and where I need to work next. And let's see. In a little bit here we'll be able to get the file in, or emery board, whatever you want to call that. Sandpaper board, I guess, would be more along the lines of it, because that's what it is. All right. Let's see. This feels a little bit rough right there, but that might be good enough. All right, time to get working on this. And this does quite the job to get rid of the little remnants. Makes it nice and smooth. Got to keep working it, and since this is PLA plastic, it has a tendency to gum up if it's allowed to heat up too much. Wet sanding is a good idea if you're working with PLA. So that's why I've got the glass of water there. I can dip it in whenever I feel I need to, like right now, and then go back with the sanding board again. It's getting there. And like I said before, I could take you through this another 5 times to get the total number of legs that we have for this project, but I'm feeling generous, so you don't have to sit through all that I had to go through in making this. All right, just dry it off. And how does that feel? It's looking good. Still got a little bit to work on with the X-Acto blade, so I put the glove back on, as you can see. And we're just going over the last few little spots that the sandpaper board needs a bit of help on. Get the pliers in there too. All right, just a little bit more with this. You can see what I'm trying to get off there. All right, let's try to file a little bit more on this top. And what do I have else at my disposal here? A smaller one to get into that little tight spot. I think we're doing okay here. Should be real smooth, like I'm wanting it to be. Yeah, I think that's about it. Still just a little bit of work on this section right here. Okay, and since the water helps to get the little dust off, I like to give it a good rub down after I sand a little bit, so I know how it's going to feel. And I would say that we about have it. All right, that's going to do it. All right, everyone, hope you enjoyed that video. If you did, feel free to give me a like and maybe subscribe. And if you want to go a little bit further and you want to see your name in lights in the credits here, feel free to go to my Patreon and contribute. Till next time, everyone.